Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. Hopefully you guys are keeping well. My friends, today on the channel I want to share with you some industry insider insights, if you will. That's a tongue twister, isn't it? With respect to where the money is flowing, where the government contracts are going in the emergency preparedness space. I don't work for the CIA. I'm not a secret agent. I don't pride myself on having any secret information. This is just industry insider information, having a preparedness store and giving you the lowdown on what exactly is going on. Now, guys, we've been forecasting this mobilization for many, many weeks. And while we were doing that, a lot of people said we were crazy. A lot of people did not agree with our prognostication. But lo and behold, here we go again. And now people are calling us arrogant because we said, we told you so. Well, it is what it is. So put as much stock as you want in what I'm about to tell you today. But I'm telling you, if you didn't know already, and you might not, because the normalcy bias is thick right now. It is so thick, it is palpable in the air. I mean, I woke up this morning expecting the markets to tank. And the market dial didn't move. The needle didn't move. The needle didn't move until the phony baloney Fed came out and said that the man-made artifice of a Federal Reserve is only going to raise interest rates by 75 basis points. That's when the market tanked. So we're in a lot of trouble, man. People do not understand the gravity of the situation. You have the leader of the country with the most nuclear weapons engaging in a full-on war with what is virtually all of Europe, increasing their troop deployments by 150%, going into full-on war economy mode, full mobilization, scrap the partial mobilization euphemistic bullshit. This is a full mobilization of the Russian military, the Russian economy. People are fleeing the country as fast as they can to dodge the draft. The shit is hitting the fan right now, and nobody cares. It is terrifying. It's like an episode of the Twilight Zone. It's as if, like in that movie Jurassic World, where people had already gotten tired of the fact that they genetically engineered these dinosaurs, and they needed to create even more attractions, so they kept making these crazier and crazier dinosaurs, and people just lost interest. Here we are, really on the precipice of World War III. Here we are. The United States is about to send heavy equipment, heavy stuff, long-range weapons, tanks, to Ukraine. And that's it. The Zaparitzia nuclear power plant reportedly today, which is being shelled every day. And when they say shelled, that's such a minimizing word. It's being hit with missiles. The biggest nuclear power plant in Europe is being hit with missiles on a daily basis. Of course, both sides are denying that they're doing it. But I mean, if you have half a brain, you know who's doing it. It was hit today with missiles, and apparently one of the cooling stations is now compromised. I'm not sure if it's a cooling station for one of the nuclear reactors itself or the cooling stations for one of the spent fuel rods. Regardless, it ain't good. We're on the brink of seeing a radiological event. That's what Putin was talking about with nuclear blackmail. He's talking about the Zaparitzia nuclear power plant, and of course, that they will not bluff in utilizing what will likely be a tactical nuclear weapon of some sort. The people who I know who are in the know, are preparing for nuclear incidents. The governments of the world are buying up personal protective equipment. They've been doing this in secret for a long time now. Now, I'm not saying that the silent button has been pushed, that's coming from the top. I think it's actually by choice. I think the algorithm right now is being guided by people's lack of interest in nuclear war. That's all I can make of it. Because when you look at what people are watching, they're not paying attention to these actual material events that are unfolding. And which is surprising for Wall Street, because Wall Street, above all else, should be concerned with these matters. Now, the only thing that might be propping up Wall Street is they might think to themselves, oh, there's going to be opportunities in the domestic space after the great decoupling or the great fracturing, I heard it called yesterday. And that's what I'm going to start calling it, the fracturing, because decoupling is way too pretty of a word, just like partial mobilization. No, it's a full-on mobilization. It is a fracturing. It is a fissuring. This is a separation. And with that separation comes suffering. But of course, if you're into money, then there's definitely money to be made on the domestic end of things when the factories come back here. Anyways, perhaps that's why the needle hasn't moved quite yet, or perhaps it's just a sign that people are living in fantasy land when the Fed, this completely fictitious, superficial, man-made artifice of a creation, the monetary system, has more sway over the markets than real deal events. We're talking about a possible giga-death scenario. We're talking about Europe freezing this winter. Freezing. We're talking about deindustrialization in Europe. We are talking about potential military drafts across Europe. We're talking about potential military drafts in Canada and the United States as well. I will go that far. Now, that may be a ways off, but I don't think it's that far off. I think we're literally one event now away from that actually becoming reality. You literally have the head of the UK military making a public statement saying explicitly that we're going to war with the Russians. He explicitly said that. We're going to war with the Russians, and you need to consult with your loved ones and let them know that at a moment's notice you may be deployed to the front lines. Ukraine has run out of weapons. Ukraine is running out of human resources. They're having those weapons and human resources replenished and trained from the outside. And that is going to continue to happen, and which is why the Russians have now fully acknowledged that they are at war with NATO. Whether you want to, no matter how you want to conceptualize that, however it makes you feel good, I don't care about people's feelings right now. People need to know the truth about what's coming. And a lot of people just want to self-delude themselves with bullshit, which is why all of these phony baloney channels are getting pumped by the algorithm. And it's not the algorithm's fault. It's what people want. People don't want to be told the grim, dark, bitter reality of what is coming down the road. People want to self-delude. And that is why the government is capitalizing on people's lack of interest. They are stockpiling before the panic, because mark my words, when that tactical nuke drops, mark my words, when that tactical nuke drops, watch the grocery stores. You'll set your watch to it. When it drops, just make sure you're well positioned outside of a grocery store with your camera when it hits, especially in Europe, man. Look what Hollywood has done to us in our expectation that these things should happen overnight. And I myself am guilty. When this first thing broke out, I thought it was going to progress a lot more rapidly than it has. But if you do a little mental exercise and you say to yourself, okay, condense the last 7 months into a week. Every day is a week. On the first day, Russia takes out one of its own satellites. Everybody's asking, why the hell did you do that? You could have caused a major global catastrophe in doing that. On the next day, Russia invades Ukraine, although they call it a special military operation, right? On the third day, a nuclear power plant gets compromised, and they start fighting over that. Hundreds of thousands of casualties already by the third day. By the fourth day, Russia declares a general military mobilization. And I call it general because that's exactly what it is. This is a full-on war economy that they've now evoked. And it's everything that we've been saying. It is, and more. The reality is that it's far worse than that, which is why so many people are trying to get out. It's going to get wild, my friends. We're only halfway through the week. All right? And all I can say is that if you're in Europe, I'm sorry, we cannot ship products to Europe anymore. I just cannot ship. I cannot do international shipping because those frickin' bureaucrats are stopping everything at the border. They're not letting anything through. Even if it's like a Mylar bag, they're not letting it through. And it's just costing crazy amounts, obscene amounts for shipping. We're talking like $150 to ship like $100 items. Okay, and then they get sent back, and then you have to pay for the return ship. We just can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. We can't do it. But I would encourage you to try to get whatever is accessible to you before the panic starts. The panic is coming. I hate to be that guy, but I mean, somebody has to be that guy right now, because everybody is in la la land. And I'm quite frankly almost at my wit's end with how to navigate this situation and how to continue to convey this information to you in a way that's constructive, because I almost feel as though what we're doing is not constructive, even though we are consistently hitting the bullseye with our predictions in the face of a lot of adversity in this community, in this space. We consistently are hitting the bullseye. And I don't say that, some people say, oh, you're arrogant and blah, 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 you're grandstanding. I mean, you know, when we were making the prediction, you called us crazy. You called us Looney Tunes, right? So it is what it is. Guys, prepare for what's coming, but enjoy your life. Don't just spend 24 hours in a depressed, mortified state. Don't waste the moments that you have. I mean, every weekend now I'm going camping with my son and my daughter next weekend, the dogs. Like, we're trying to live our lives to the best of our capability and enjoy everything. Don't be caught off guard by some bullshit today. Don't what's that word? Don't be caught up in trifling nonsense. Don't be trifling. If it's something you're not going to remember in 5 years, don't sweat it. But enjoy these moments and enjoy that running water. Enjoy that power. Enjoy that reasonably affordable heat. Not if you're in Europe. But enjoy what you got, because it could get a lot worse. And I mean a lot worse. And we'll be the last to know. In the same way that the government in Russia right now is breathing down people's necks and people don't want to talk, people don't want to share any information with the outside world, the same way our government is going to minimize the situation when the shit's hitting the fan. The same thing is going to happen. We're going to be told in euphemism, in eupha speak, what the situation is. Same way Russians say partial mobilization, we'll say Operation Iraqi Freedom. You know, it's just, you know, same rebranded crap. Anyways, you guys stay safe, stay up, keep your head on a swivel. Let me know what you think about all this craziness in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Canadian Prepper out.